Alright guys, we are back for another platinum trophy video. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at this Walking Dead game, The Walking Dead Destinies. Now, this game is very, not good, I would say. I would say it's very not good. This game is quite a bit of a mess, let's just go ahead and say. It did, at a lot of parts, I would say almost feel like a PS2 game, but I'm a pretty big Walking Dead fan, or at least I was back when the series was ongoing. There's a lot of it I haven't seen, a lot of it I haven't read, but I mean, it almost was kind of like nostalgic for me for like the early parts of the stories, like early part of the story of the series. So, I mean, I guess we'll just take a look at this. We've got a lot of footage. I would say overall, this is like an easy, very easy platinum to get. As long as you can kind of just like stomach the real wonkiness and the gameplay, right? So I guess we could kind of like go through here. I mean, probably the way I'll format these is we'll just kind of like look. So we're in order of the trophies in the game of how common or rare they are, right? So these right here, I mean, these are just very common trophies that everyone gets. The Destiny ones, these are just like story trophies that will pop, right? It's the game has a system where it lets you pick right, like there's kind of like a canon like way that the series goes, and like, you know, you could kind of like go in a different direction with several of these. I think I have this clip for this one right here. All right, so here's an example of how one of these kind of like stories goes. It's a little like we can see the cutscene, not exactly high budget, man. It's just silly. It's silly.
You think I'm gonna start taking orders from you? I don't think so, bro. That'll be the day.
That'll be the day? What, you got something you want to tell me?
I'll tell you the day. That'll be the day I take orders from a... I pull this trigger, it'll be the best use of ammo all day.
Come on. Anyone gonna do something?
And then it just leads to a lot of different moments through the games where we get these kind of like just like story choices, right? Like whichever one we pick, like the other character is gonna die, right? Is kind of how it goes. And there's a whole upgrade tree where you can get kind of like characters' abilities, and whichever character dies, you can never get their abilities, right? Like it's an interesting system, I guess.
Who the hell are you, man?
Officer Friendly. Look here. Things are different now. Ain't no differences between us anymore. There's only white meat and dark meat. There's us and the dead. We survive this by pulling together, not apart.
Screw you, man.
You ought to be polite to a man with a gun. It's only common sense.
You wouldn't. You're a cop.
All I am anymore is a man looking for his wife and son. Anybody gets in the way of that is gonna lose.
All right, so a lot of these trophies and stuff, these are just very easy. They just come like quickly, like through like gameplay and stuff like that. Like obviously like dying, you know, just killing walkers, like kind of like this is just like in the middle of the story, right? Pretty much. So a lot of these ones are very easy. There's these little kind of like decision points. I guess I could show a little bit of this. There's a point where you can pretty easily kind of like grind these out. Where you can kind of like reset like a kind of like a level. Here, we'll just show these right now. So there's a bunch of these related to this, like the good call. We can kind of go up way more. There's the bad call, and then there's ones for just getting a whole bunch of them done, which is, yeah, like succeed in 5 expeditions. And I think there's one for failing in a bunch of the expeditions as well. Yeah, right there. So, I mean, we just quickly, we could put that in right here. All right, so there's a little sequence right here, right near the, like, kind of like the start of this mission, where it's actually pretty easy to just grind a bunch of trophies, including one of the first ones we're going to do right here, which is where we just line up a couple of headshots pretty easily, right? The aiming is, I mean, it feels a bit wonky in this game. I don't know, like it doesn't feel super good. We'll just say that. All right, so there we get that one, that 2-for-1 trophy right there. And then if we move forward a little bit on this path right here, there's just a few walkers kind of around. It's not really a big deal. You can just pretty easily, like, ignore them and stuff like that. But right as we get to this fence right here, we get this expedition. And we could just pretty easily grind this out. So, you know, one of the options gives us a success. One of the options gives us a failure, right? So we get that, and we only walk forward just a little bit longer, and we're actually going to be able to get the, kind of like the result. So at that point, all we need to do is just kind of like, I guess just revert it, just reset. And then we're just able to grind a couple of those out quickly. This is near the start of the game, so that way we don't really need to worry about, like, messing around with a lot of this stuff. This is at least the method I did, right? Like, it works out pretty well. So we get that, and then it's just like, you know, boop, just go ahead and, like, reset it. And we're able to get, you know, the expeditions, like, kind of, like, succeeded and failed, like, all those times, and just get that out of the way very early on here. All right, right here. So just kind of skipping ahead. This is going to be the clip where we're going to get the trophy for, I believe, what is it? It's the 5 failed expeditions. We'll go ahead and get that trophy right here. And then there's a couple of other ones you could grind as well, where when your HP bar falls all the way down, you know, you enter into these kind of like special states. Like, this was the point where I went ahead and got those as well. So yeah, so there's that bad planner trophy, right? So we got that one also. Cool. And then just from this same clip, right, like we kind of just let, you know, the enemy, you know, do enough damage to us. And then you go into a couple of these different states. And then once you kind of like just recover from it, which, you know, HP bar will just kind of like recover naturally, you know, you will get a trophy for that as well. So like this little sequence right here, pretty easily able to grind out a bunch of like just kind of like miscellaneous trophies.
Let me go.
So that's like a bunch of trophies from kind of like around this level, right? Like, you know, like the mindfulness. Obviously something like, you know, just finish Act 1 is very, you know, sort of like obvious with how that works here. Become wrathful and survive. There's 2 of those, you know, kind of like panic states. There's the panicked and then there's the wrathful. The expedition stuff we went over. You know, these are just kind of like the story and stuff like that. This, like, kill 5 walkers with a grenade. I mean, I guess I could quickly toss that clip right here.
Don't mind if I do.
Get out of here!
So there's that one, you know, pretty easy stuff. There's kind of like that whole like skill tree system there. The 2-for-1 was actually one that we just saw as well in one of those earlier clips, right? Like a lot of these earlier trophies are pretty simple. So, okay, then we get to these ones, which can be a little bit more rare. So right here, this 10 walkers in a row, stab them. This is something that can be very easy to grind in, like, you know, some of these places, right? There's actually a particular moment early on in the game. I guess we could just put that clip right here. All right, so there's the tutorial section right here where Morgan is just kind of, like, teaching us, like, how to play and stuff like that. And we have to use adrenaline to execute a walker, but they keep infinitely spawning. So we can just use this to kind of just, like, camp out, chill out, and then just let the walkers just slowly continue, like, to permanently spawn, and then we just make sure to kill them, you know, 10 in a row, just with that ability right there, right? Where you just hit them once with a weapon, or, I mean, I guess it depends, right, what type of walker it is, stuff like that, but you can hit them, and then you'll see the little, like, knife icon appear above them, and you just press square, and you do kill them. So you just have to do 10 in a row, which, I mean, just like going through the game normally, maybe it could be a little bit obnoxious to try and get that, but just like, you know, grinding it out like this, it becomes very simple to do. Then the Destiny trophy, I mean, that's just kind of like one of the normal story trophies, not really a big one right there. Finish Act 2, there's, you know, these are just all story trophies. Kill 4 enemies without reloading the shotgun too. That's pretty obvious and simple. I don't think we really need to grab a clip here. There are some, well, I don't know if I really want to say tougher, because this really is a very easy platinum, but there's, you know, some longer clips we will have to show for some of these. Keep the trailer's health over 30% at all times and overrun. This one is very easy, but I guess we'll just show, like, this portion of it. Alright, so here's the part right here. So, yeah, there is, like, the health bar for the trailer, right? So all we have to do is just continue to just kind of, like, kill enough walkers in time. I mean, it is kind of a, I don't know, a strange part, right? Where it's like they're just, like, infinitely spawning. But you have, I guess, like, there's not enough time for them, I think, to really do a ton of damage. Even if, like, we're kind of, I guess, a little bit sloppy right here, right? This Magnum that Rick has is just a one-shot with the headshots. That could be pretty good. There's one of the execution moves, right, where you have, like, the little heart meter at the bottom left. And when that is full up, you're able to just kind of, like, hit them normally and then just execute them. There is a trophy for doing an execution with every single one of the various weapon types, which will, you know, like, just going through the game, right, like, using a new weapon. There's a crowbar, you know, machete, like, there's a bunch of different stuff, axe, right, and you kind of just get, like, the executions with a lot of them. So there we go. This part is, like, really, I think jank is definitely a good way to say it. That's how that part is. All right, let's see what the next ones we have here. So, kill a strong walker with only melee attacks. This is a really bizarre one because this is very, very simple. You know, these strong walkers are like these big fat guys, and like this being a gold trophy, I guess is, again, a little surprising because this one is very easy. All right, guys, so here's this sequence where Shane is trapped in a gym, and then this is our first appearance of one of these heavy walkers. I mean, look at this. This is why, okay, so there's that. They have a double kind of like grab bar, but then we just hit him again and he's dead. Thanks for the gold trophy, bitch. Okay, so that one, I mean, this is already only 37% of players have gotten that one. All right, so kill 6 enemies with the revolver without reloading. I mean, that one I think is pretty self-explanatory, really. Finish Act 3. This is just another one of the Destiny trophies. Kill 3 crawler walkers with the pistol. So apparently the description of this one I think is like bugged or incorrect. I think what it really means, and one reason that this is like kind of like very rare, although killing crawler walkers is simple because we already had that in an earlier clip where if you're near them, you just press square once and you just you boot to the, you know, dome and they're done. I believe what you have to do for this No Mercy, though, is you do actually have to kill 3 crawler walkers in a row with the pistol, is kind of the point of this one. Alright, so continuing on here, let's see what we got. So that's just, again, story-related. Finish Hounded without ever becoming broken. Okay, so I believe this is when Michonne is leaving Woodbury here. I believe that's what this trophy is. Alright, so here we go. So some of these trophies do require you to go through a pretty, I guess, kind of a sizable portion under, like, kind of like certain circumstances, stuff like that. So this is pretty close towards the end of the game. You know, after the encounter Michonne has with the governor, we just have to kind of, like, escape from the place. And then, like, dude, look at the... look at the sneaking in this game. Like, I had to show, like, the entirety of this portion. Because, like, look at this. if you look at the top of the screen, there's like the eyeball with like the line through it or something like that. You know, if you get in cover, you're just invisible. It doesn't matter if they're standing next to you. It doesn't matter how stupid it is. The detection, this is not exactly Metal Gear, okay? The detection by these guards is like the worst. Now, this part right here, I believe we can just go guns blazing, and I think a little bit through the way I just decide, fuck it, like let's just get out of here and just start running around like crazy. The point though of this trophy is we just need to get through without getting into that section of our HP, you know, down near the bottom, right, into one of those kind of like status effects, right? So we just have to kind of like get through this whole section with that while all the guards are kind of like hunting for us and stuff. It is a little bit, the whole Woodbury section does feel very obnoxious, but especially at some points when you're kind of like fighting the guards that have like the rifles and stuff like that, and they are kind of like infinitely spawning. It just feels more annoying than anything. So, I mean, pretty easy to just kind of like sneak past these guards. That part is not exactly tough. This section really isn't that long. I think we probably, yeah, just eliminate them right there. Yep, get them out of there, sure. And then there's, that's kind of like the revolver. The revolver is good because, you know, if we hit the headshot, I mean, it's just basically like a one-hit KO, right? So that'll be good. And then I think what we need to do here is we have to get back on the street, and then there's just kind of like a bus that we kind of like go through. Like it's not really very well indicated, I guess, of exactly where it is you need to go, but it's not a big deal. Like, see, look how bad the detection is, man. Like, it's so, like, this shit is like clowning, man. Like, come on. All right, so we got that. Then there's another dude right there who should have obviously seen or heard that. He should have something. He should have been able to understand what was going on right there, but all right. And then he's just standing there. Okay, yep, still see you later. Now, then we get to this section. I think that there are kind of like a lot of guards. Like, there's just like guards all over. And I think, yeah, at this point, I'm just kind of like, whatever. Like, let's just kind of like run through. And then once we get closer to sort of the end, that's where like walkers are going to start to kind of like flood into Woodbury as well. Just kind of a, I mean, I don't know. This section felt like very shitty to me. And this game, of course, I mean, as well as looking like a PS2 game, as I'm sure you guys can understand, it's a lot of, I don't know how to say, there's, okay, okay, so there's Executioner. We got that in this clip, too. Okay, so that is doing one of the, like, executions, which is where the little heart is beating at the bottom left, as I explained before. Like, once that goes all the way up, you can hit them once and then triangle and you'll execute them. That Executioner trophy, I mean, we're going to see that a little bit later on. That one is just execution with every weapon type. So I guess it's good that we got the clip in here. We'll get through that through the trophy list. That one is probably going to be one of the more rare trophies in the game, I'm sure. And in a lot of these Woodbury sections, I believe the guards are just infinite spawning. But Michonne's katana, the sword weapon is so OP. Like, you just kind of like slice and dice them out of the way. And then there's always healing items just everywhere. Like, I don't know. The game is definitely not very tough. But some of the detection certainly is not very good. There's another execution right there. Executions also heal you too. So like, if we've taken damage, we can do one of those executions and we'll actually heal back a pretty significant amount of HP. All right, and then we have our stamina meter. Obviously, we have to kind of like wait for that to reset. Just finish them off. It's like right around here where it's like, okay, yeah, they're just going to keep infinitely spawning. Like, let's just like speed sprint out of here and we'll be good. Yeah, one of these sections, there's like a bus, and that's the spot we're supposed to run into. I think it's on our right from here. Yeah, like now it's sort of the left. And then we just kind of like run in there, and then there's kind of like walkers that begin to come in.
Just need to get past that barricade, and I'm...
Yeah, exactly right there. And it's like, as we get closer, like the walkers really begin to kind of just like, I don't know, like really flood in through the entrance. Oh, okay. So that walker right there had a bomb vest on. It's kind of like an explosive walker with a bomb vest. It actually did work out well. Our HP is pretty close to failing the trophy, but we're able to get it done. And then right here, it's not super clear what you're supposed to do, but you just have to kind of get near the left side of the bus right there. I grabbed that healing item just in case we needed it, but I was like, okay, we just get to the left side of the bus and then we're good. And then boom, there it is. That's how we get that one. All right, so there's that. Next, this is just succeeding in the expeditions. We already went through that one earlier. Don't get detected in the hospital parking lot. So this is right at the very start of the game. It's just kind of like a sneaking sequence, and as it says, we just need to not get detected by the walkers there.
So many did. I don't understand. Better stay low so they don't see me. There are too many here. I should try to keep a low profile. Make a roll when I'm crouched. Stay hidden even when I need to move quick.
All right, so we got that one. Certainly pretty rare right there. Okay, so then this is just, you know, with some of these weapons, you know, you just kind of just do your regular attack and you get these. Surprising that this one is so rare, but I guess, I mean, you do have to kill them in a specific way, right, with a certain type of attack. But the machete does take them down pretty quickly. The Destiny, I mean, this is right near the very end of the game. Right here, like, this is the tail end, so there's that, just story one. Chop off 10 heads with the fire axe. I mean, that's just, I mean, very, very simple, right? That's just like use R2. You just swing and their heads go right off. That right there, Fear of the Living, that's just finish the game. Mow down 5 enemies in 10 seconds with the assault rifle. I'm surprised that this one is so rare, but I guess it's because you have to finish enemies so quickly. Okay, we could show this here. All right, so for this one right here, we're down in the prison, and there's just a lot of, like, walkers kind of, like, everywhere, right? So, I guess the reason people don't really get this one is because we just want to kind of kite them all around into kind of, like, a specific area. Like, kind of just, like, you know, get a lot of them kind of, like, aggroed. And then at that point, like, once enough are kind of, like, close by, then we could just kind of, like, quickly finish them with the assault rifle. Like this, right? You can get overwhelmed very quickly, but that little, like, roll dodge you have is, like, ridiculously OP. Like, it's so effective to just kind of, like, get out of there quickly. So we just kind of, like, get to, like, a little point like this. Just kite them all to us, let them come right here, and then we could just unload. Bam, 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 bam. Easy. Nice and easy peasy right there.
Away from me!
Alright, so there's that one. So continuing on. Finish the Better Angels fight in less than 3 minutes. So this is the second time I've gotten this platinum. I did get the PS5 version. You know, something like, I don't know, well, I guess actually it's more like 8 months ago, 7-8 months ago, something like that. The first time, this one, it's just a little, the section is a little weird. Like, it's not a very good fight. Here, let's just go ahead and show this. All right, so this fight is pretty annoying. It's also a multiple phase fight too. So it kind of like starts out and, I mean, you're just getting shot. That's never fun. So, also the controls are a little finicky. That little kick right there, that happens when I try and shoot too fast. So just like pummeling Shane with headshots is pretty good. Or I guess you can do a decision to be Rick or Shane for this, so whichever character. Just trying to pummel him with as many headshots is good. There's like skill points all types of items all over. But again, the trophy is for winning fast, so I'm not really worried about Shane blasting me. Yeah, there's those kicks. That's from just trying to do L2 too fast, I guess. I don't know. That little kick is very weird. Dude. Right there, I'm trying to just shoot him, and I just keep getting the kick, and that shit is definitely frustrating. So there's the first phase done, right? But then there's a completely second phase that we have to go through as well, right? So right here, this one is more of a melee phase. Like the first one is just like, you know, go ahead and knock it down with guns. And then this one is just kind of like a melee phase. So I'm just looking for a good weapon here. There's going to be walkers funneling in the whole time. Machete's good. Yeah, there we go. And there's going to be walkers funneling in the whole time too, which can be a real pain in the ass, by the way, the walkers. Because it's just like when you get caught in their grab, it's just wasting a lot of time, right? And I'm just trying to go as quickly as possible since the time limit is 3 minutes. And like I explained, this was the trophy I think I had the most trouble with in the PS5 version when I originally did that. So like I came into this ready to go, right? Like I kind of like, I guess knew the fight layout already. And it's just like, all right, you just get up in Shane's butt and keep slicing away, right? Don't even really want to give him much of a chance. At certain points, do kind of want to like just back up a little bit to kind of let my stamina recharge. The machete is also not really too demanding on stamina, so we can kind of just like spam attacks nicely right there. Right here, I was definitely pretty nervous that I didn't do it fast enough, but wha-bam, and then that boy is dead, and then boom. There we go. So that one went pretty easy, right? Like sometimes that one I think can be quite tricky, but that really didn't do too bad right there.
Not me. Spent the entire winter going from house to house, living on scraps.
All right, so there's that one, which I guess is pretty rare. Okay, so now we move into the very, very rare territory, huh? Find all the skill points in Guts. I guess I'm surprised that this one is kind of like so low, because there's like this is. I mean, I thought that this one was pretty easy. This was in kind of like the very early stage, controlling Glenn and Rick, and there's just a couple of kind of like skill points around. What other ones do we have left? We're down into the last section right here. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, okay, because a lot of these right here, yeah, like this one, just explode 15 heads. That's just do that. The Executioner we already did see. Okay. Stab 10 walkers undetected in life worth living. Oof, yeah, that's another really annoying one. The headhunter one is just very, very simple, right? Like when we had that section with Michonne earlier, that was a good place that you can farm that in Woodbury, right? Just, you know, do the R2 attack, and it is, I believe that is like a one-shot on a lot of the walkers and humans and stuff like that, because the katana is like super, super broken. All right, guys, so here's that level very, very early on, right? So there's these kind of like skill, like books or manuals or whatever. It's a couple of different looking items, right? Like the boombox is one. And what we have to do in this stage is we just have to find all of these different like kind of like skill books or skill items. That's kind of like what the purpose is. Here's the skill tree, right? And if you look, there's a couple of sections that are pretty close together. So like if you pick, T-Dog to live and, Merle dies, then you can't get the Merle section, it's stuff that I referenced earlier. So just make sure to pick up all of these skill point items right here. I believe there's one more skill point item that's kind of like a little bit hidden, just a little bit ahead, still in this Glen section. And then I believe there's one right afterwards, just when we switch back control to Rick. Now, a lot of these enemies, again, are just going to go down pretty quickly. I mean, this is early on in the game, right? I'm surprised that this trophy was quite so rare, because a lot of these are kind of just on the way. I imagine that probably what is kind of difficult for people, like the reason a lot of people didn't get this one, I believe that right there, that's just for killing a bunch of enemies, I think, with the crowbar's light attack. Like, that's kind of like one of those, you know, certain trophies with a lot of the different weapons, right? Like, those are very easy to get. And then that last one we did right there, that was the executioner move we did with the crowbar, right? Which we have to do that with all of the different weapon types. And in one of the earlier clips, we did see that trophy actually proc. I think, what was that trophy called? Executioner? It might have just been called Executioner. There's, in a lot of these sections, we could play it a couple of different ways. We can kind of just, like, sneak by. But, I mean, it's pretty easy to just, you know, run in guns blazing and just, like, blast these assholes to death in 2 seconds, right? Now, right here, just right here on the right, there's this. I imagine that one is the kind of like the skill item that caused a lot of players to kind of like miss out on this trophy. At least that's what I would guess. But then it's, you know, it's the game that's very easy to just kind of like blow these walkers, zombies, whatever we're going to call them, blow them apart, right? Get him taken down. And then I think the fire truck right here, this is actually just sort of like the end of this sequence. Yeah, turn on the sirens right there. So we just get to the fire truck, and then that's going to be that for this part. And then we will swap on over to Rick, and then we can get the final kind of like skill book with Rick, and, you know, sort of like finish this trophy up. Now that we're at the part of the trophy list where like some of the stuff is actually like a little bit specific. In order to like how we're gonna actually get it right. So then there's this skill item right here, and then there's just I believe there's one more just on one of these benches right here. This is also the area where I got the grenade kill. Yep, there it is right there. Well prepared. Okay, so there's that trophy. Not too bad, I think. I don't think that one is really too bad. All right, guys. So this is another one of the more annoying trophies in the game. This one may actually just be the outright worst, the most annoying. I don't know. I think I easily could say that, right? So what we have to do in this section, that's kind of like our introduction to one of these, you know, alarm walkers, as they call it. There is a trophy for shooting one of them in the head during their scream, which you can easily get later on, right? Now, what we have to do here is, this is a section where there's just a huge group of walkers, and we have to kill 10 of them without being detected, right? And then we have to get the flowers, a little food for the group. That's not really a big concern, though, right? Again, the trophy is just to kill 10 of these guys before we're spotted. Now, there is walkers everywhere. Like, this took a couple of tries. This was actually kind of an obnoxious one, because, again, there's just kind of like walkers everywhere, right? So, gotta start to really take our time. Once we get past this alarm walker, that's where things kind of like slow down quite a bit, and we have to kind of like, I mean, I guess sort of like find the correct path, because like the way the walkers are sort of like spread out in this area, it's pretty difficult to kind of sneak up on a lot of them, right? Definitely. So the flowers, like we could get those, the food or whatever it is that we're getting, those could come at any time. We just need to focus on getting the trophy first. Damn. We gotta remember, the detection for enemies is very bad, right? Like they're like really stupid. I mean, I guess these are zombies, but like even the soldiers, right? You can pretty much just stand right next to them, and they're not really gonna see you most of the time. So we need to kill basically this entire group right here. There's what, 5 left? I believe we have to kill all 5 of these and then we will actually get the trophy after that. And it could be a little bit finicky. That the zombie with the really white head on the left right there, like top left, that's the one that I found is a little bit tricky. And even in this kind of like winning run, you'll see like we almost get detected like right as the trophy pops too. So once he turns around, let's quickly execute him. We could take these guys out. See, like, dude, he that's one of those ones where you think that they would see us. So we hit this, and we are able to just get back in the bush in just enough time. Again, the game is a little bit kind of, it's a little finicky. I mean, you know, maybe the title will be The Walking Dead. It's a PS2 game, man. You know, I don't. This game is silly, man. It was fun. It was fun with its silliness. So this guy kind of just like turns a little bit like back and forth, like his head a little bit slightly. So just kind of wait for the correct moment, get him, and then boom. See, there's the eye. It sticks on us for a little bit, and then we get detected, but we're able to get it done in time. All right, so there was those two. Kind of like, well, I mean, the getting by well. I'm surprised that this is so high up. This one I found to be very tricky. The guts one was pretty easy. Chop off 10, you know, heads with the katana heavy attack. Not really anything too crazy. Win the pit fight in the Suicide King without dodging. There's just like a little bit of a fist fight with Merle towards the end. I mean, that's pretty easy. Just, I mean, punch. that one. There's nothing tricky about that. Find all the skill points in Walk With Me. This is another one that I feel like should be pretty easy, but I guess it is about just like finding all the little items like laying around. So, all right, we'll put this one in right here. All right, so this one right here. So this is just kind of like a walking mission. Like the entire mission is we're kind of just like walking with the governor, and he just kind of like explains about Woodbury. And what there is there's just a couple of kind of like those. I mean, they're not even really hidden. They are pretty right out in the open, but we do, I guess, have to find the exact spots where a lot of these kind of like skill point items are. I think there's 5, something like that. But we are able to grab all of them in this clip. Again, I found that a lot of the Woodbury section is actually a real pain in the ass. Just... I don't know, just didn't really feel good. I'm not really sure how I want to word it, but yeah, again, this part of it, we just kind of like walk with the governor. We get the little skill point books. Well, sometimes it's the stereo, the boom box, and that's it. Still, looked like there's still quite a bit of trophies here. I'm surprised that some of these were quite so rare, but because. I mean, I guess, I don't know. Like, when we go by the PSM percentages, it's like, you know, people will turn a game on, play, like, one level, and then never touch it again, right? I feel like that's a pretty common thing. So that's why, like, the percentages, I think, for a lot of trophies are like, oh, it's so rare. It's, like, ridiculously hard to get. But a lot of them actually are, you know, quite easy, right? And then throughout this mission, we do actually have to, like, walk with the governor, right? Like, it's not like we could... We are basically on, like, I don't know, like a leash or something, as we're just kind of like walking with him. This is the exact type of like, I don't know, scene or part of a game that people nowadays really hate, right? Like, I remember I saw a lot of criticisms about Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? Where there was many sequences exactly like this, where you're dropped into a new area and like, oh, I'd like to explore, and it's like the cameraman, the game itself has like its invisible hands wrapped around you, like forcing you down a path rather than letting you kind of just like, you know, do stuff on your own. So like I could get it. I mean, for a game like that though, like it's like a real, I mean, I don't want to call FF7 Remake a masterpiece, but it is very, very, very good, right? But like that game is like a huge like cinematic experience, right? This is just kind of like yeah. Let me not be too harsh on this game, but like it's so bad, dude. It's so bad. It's so bad. I'm sorry, dude. This game. I had so much fun recording this though. I had a lot of fun getting this platinum. I think probably the next like platinum series game I'm gonna do is probably gonna be Expedition 33 because everyone saw how good that game is, so I probably will do that one. This
Oh,
right
this
here
is
is the pit that you fight.
sick.
It's just kind of like a one-on-one
What's your
fight
real
with
name,
Merle,
anyway?
the Suicide King. That one is just like you literally just walk forward and you punch him. Like it's
Never.
very, very basic and easy to do. So surprised that that one was quite so far down. And then I think these are the last skill points here. That one, and then I think this other one just a little bit ahead. I think that's it for this mission.
I think the tour's over now.
So, bam, just find all those,
Great.
and we got the trophy there. Easy.
I'll show you to your room.
All right, so let's see what the next one is here. Just, you know, explode heads with the crowbar light attack. I think that's one of the ones we saw during the Glen footage, right? When we were getting the well-prepared, find all skill points and guts. I think we saw that one pop. Those are just very obvious, right? You just hit the enemy with the attack and you get it. That's failing the expeditions. We looked at that. Kill 5 enemies with the sniper rifle without zooming out. I don't know that we really need to show that. That's pretty self-explanatory, right? There is a sequence where, is it the next one? Okay, thick skin. Okay, yeah, we'll show this right here. You have to, this is one of the very final missions in the game, and you have to basically kill an enemy with every type of attack, is essentially what we have to do. Zoned in, we'll come back to that, because there's another one. Where is it? The execution. Yeah, here it is right here. I got your back. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll show the footage for thick skin, and then I'm going to show the footage for I got your back, because kill the 15 walkers with a sniper rifle. I was having difficulty with that, like moving the sniper rifle around fast enough and hitting the shots. I actually had a little trouble with that one. The executioner, you know, we've kind of like explained that one. You know, do the execution with each melee weapon. You know, explode 15 heads with a sledgehammer, strong attack. You know, those are very obvious. So, yeah, let's grab the footage for thick skin. And then also, I got your back right here. All right, so in this section, we control a couple of characters. And we're in this, it's an abandoned store or pharmacy or something like that. And we just need to kill a lot of different walkers with a couple of different methods, right? Like, we basically have to use everything we've got to try and kill all these walkers, right? We got to kill them with stabbing. We got to crush them. We got to do all the good stuff. I believe you might need to kill walkers with both Glenn and Michonne's guns, too, I think. But as we kind of move forward, we're going to see that we, like when we actually pop the trophy, we're going to pop it from actually, using Michonne's, her pistol, right? So this sequence, this is right at the very end. I believe this is the last mission, right before the final showdown at the prison. This is like right near the end. So this is actually probably the single hardest trophy in the game, I believe, is the sequence right before this. And that, of course, is going to be the trophy that's at the very, like, you know, top of the list for hardest to obtain, right? As we're kind of, like, going through and, you know, killing all the different enemies and, like, the various different ways, we also do have to get this medicine, too, for kind of, like, the... I think this is the portion of the series where there's the sickness that's kind of like spreading through the prison, right? And there's the walkers or the zombies that have kind of like the bleeding eyes. Like that was like a huge sort of like plot point at that point. So all right, we'll keep going here. I think there's still a few different ways we have to kill the enemies with.
Don't mind if I do.
Okay, and then right here, this is where there's actually like a crawling walker right there. So we could just run on over and just crush his skull like that, right? That's an important part for the trophy. All right, then after we just continue with the story objective, we do switch on over to Michonne. With Michonne right here, this is a good place where we can actually sort of grind kills with her katana as well, right? There are like there's kind of like an infinite like walker spawning point that we can use to, you know, grind up any kills for her weapon, or try and get like the executioner with her katana. You know, there's different sort of like ways that we can kind of like do that. All right, whoops, I didn't realize the clip that just started with us just sitting there for a sec. Okay, it's all good, it's all good. So again, what we got to try and do is get kills with like all the different ways, right? So I believe here we need to get a kill with the katana, we need to get a kill with Michonne's handgun, and then I think there's also the grenade. Those are the 3 things that we actually have to do here to get kills. Yeah, so there's the grenades. That's pretty easy. Then I think we just have to get a kill with the katana and then the handgun, and we're good. Or maybe not. No, okay, I guess we just go right to the handgun. Waboom. And then there's that one. All right, very good. There's the thick skin one, which is pretty tough. All right, guys, so now we got all of these. We're just moving on to the toughest trophies here. All right, so we just have a few left. We could just go ahead and knock all these out right in a row. Okay, so efficient. This one is ridiculously easy. This just involves kiting a couple of enemies around. So I guess I'm a little bit surprised that this one is so rare. Rage, this one is, you know, beat like a big sequence without getting hurt. We got this. This one was pretty tough, guns blazing. This is right near the end of the game. There's a long section and you can only use guns. It's actually pretty frustrating. We'll show that. And then this one, Shadow. This is definitely the hardest trophy in the game. This is a pretty long section where we can't get hit by a sniper rifle. So, all right, let's just go ahead and get these last 5 in here, and then we'll finish up. All right, guys, so the efficient trophy, this one is very easy to do. So all we have to do is kind of just like kite a bunch of walkers or zombies close together, right? So we just kind of like run to the end of the area, and then they all kind of just get like brought together. I guess the reason this one would be more of a rare one is probably because people, I guess, tend to just sort of like run right through it and, you know, like not really worry about the trophy, but just slowly kill the walkers as it's telling you to. But yeah, all you got to do is just get to this portion, and then we just kind of like kite them back and forth a little bit just to get all of them sort of like, you know, in a really tight area, and then we'll be able to finish them, you know, really rather quickly here. This one is pretty easy. Some of the other ones are a lot more annoying, as we're about to see in 2 seconds. The last couple of trophies are the ones that I guess would just sort of be difficult for the plat, right? So we got them lined up pretty well. So now all we have to do is just quickly kill, what is it, it's 10 in I think 60 seconds, but it's, you know, we're going to be able to get them done much quicker than that. So just sitting here, blasting them really fast. This is a part that they showed in the show a lot, right? Them kind of like killing the walkers that get like near the prison. That was a common thing that they showed quite a bit. All right, so now we get to this one right here, this Rage trophy. So what we do is we need to kill all these walkers, and we need to not take damage doing so, right? So, I mean, that certainly is one that could be a little bit tricky, not having to actually take damage here. But we do have kind of like infinite ammo and stuff like that. So we can kind of just like sort of chill, like just remain like back, and then just kind of like shoot them from a distance. There is another character we're with. Who is that? That's Daryl. Daryl is kind of just like really drawing most of their attention. So as long as we're just like very patient here, we'll be able to, you know, quickly eliminate all of them, right? Like this one really is very simple. It's just like the second you get touched once, it fails, right? Yeah, there we go. Shotgun from long range. That's ideal. Ideal. This would be an easy one to get that one trophy where you have to, what was it, kill 4 or 5 zombies without reloading with the shotgun. pretty easy stuff to get. There is a lot of walkers in this portion, though. Right? Like, it's just a ridiculous amount. And then just take it nice and slow. The only thing, I guess, that could be a bit of a pain is if those walkers get too close to our ammo, right? To where they'll make it, like, difficult for us to kind of, like, reload. But the shotgun in this is very good. I found it very easy to just blow the walkers away pretty quickly with a shotgun without really too much difficulty. And then kind of just like, I guess, yeah, I kited them over that way. And then we'll be able to run over and grab some ammo. And then there's still walkers dropping out of that the top windows up there too. How silly, man. Dude, this game. This is so silly. I don't know. It was something about it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable to me. You know, playing one of these this PS2 game, man. Come on. Come on. I mean, it's the same thing. This was both a nightmare, a fun nightmare, an enjoyable nightmare. I don't know, something like that. All right, that little like plank right there or whatever is serving as a decent little kite point for us, right? Yeah. Now with the crawling walkers, we can just like walk right over and just, you know, hit them once to kill them, but it is just like kind of like unnecessary risk, right? Like probably smarter to just sit here from afar and slowly blow them away than actually trying to do anything. So there we go. There is the rage one done.
Ammo's always welcome.
All right. So this is a real annoying one right here. So we have to get through this entire section right here, only using guns. And what we have to do here is I believe we have to collect ammo, or yeah, we're collecting ammo or something in here. And for a while, there's going to be, you know, humans are kind of like going to be here, like annoying the shit out of you. But then eventually there's going to be walkers all over as well. And the biggest issue I found in here, number one, that the pistol we have right now sucks, right? Like the first thing we got to do is get our hands on the Magnum, which makes it pretty easy. And then, you know, we get the Magnum and we got to destroy all these like ammo crates all over. Again, is kind of a pain in the ass. And the other thing too is that like we have to break those open, but like I don't even test it, right? Like I don't even try and smash it. We'll just use, you know, the gun and stuff like that. Now, with the Magnum, though, as long as they don't have the helmet on, we are just going to, like, one-shot them. I do try and, like, just kind of, like, pick up the pace here. Like, let's just try and, like, run by them if at all possible. But I don't know. I think they might... I know that the walkers are definitely infinitely spawning later on. But I don't know if these humans are infinitely spawning or not. But it's like, all right, enough is enough. Let's just take them out. There's going to be healing items everywhere, so, like, taking damage is not really the biggest problem. I was concerned about just, like, accidentally, like, meleeing an enemy or something like that, though. That would definitely be a bit of an issue. So, see, like, there's always just healing items everywhere. So, that's not really going to be an issue. But finding ammo is an issue. Oh, well, I say that, and then there's ammo right there. So we hit this, we'll get this weapon crate, and then it's going to open up into a much bigger kind of like warehouse up here. And I mean, it's kind of like, this section is like damn near a maze, really. So we just have to kind of like be like running around through this maze in here, like breaking those crates. And again, we can't use melee weapons or anything like that, right? Like it would be very easy to get through this section if we could use anything else, but all we could use is guns. Like they knew what they were doing. This is definitely an annoying one right here.
There must be more powerful guns somewhere in here.
Because there is just the amount of enemies they throw at you in this part is pretty crazy too. Yeah, and then sometimes, like some of these Woodbury soldiers towards the end, they do get pretty agitating with how, like, you'll have 4 or 5 of them, like, on your nutsack, and then one of them will just be shooting you with the assault rifle from behind, so it does get very annoying. All right, blow him away. And then remember, ammo is probably going to be a bit of an issue, so... Like, once I get a little bit further, it's like, okay, like, even, like, playing around with these guys is probably not that smart. The sniper rifle, I'm definitely not a fan of in this game. No way.
I need to take the edge off.
I think the revolver, when it comes to, like, stages like this, the revolver is definitely the way to go. And then for the hardest trophy in the game, the one we're going to do right after this, also, same thing. Just a lot of use of the revolver. That's just skill points. The skill points, I just feel like it's so little value. There's a couple of kind of like things we would want to get, which allows us to hold like more rifle ammo and stuff like that. You know, more revolver ammo, which can be good for some of the trophies, but for the most part, the skill, like, they just cover you in the skill points all over the place, right? There's those items are everywhere, but a lot of times it feels like they're not even really that needed. Like it's not really a big deal. I'm running low on ammo here, so I try to be very cautious with that.
Don't mind.
All right, yeah, very good. We have 2 of 6. Ridiculous.
Now,
So now the walkers are kind of like just funneling into the area. So I think they never stop coming in. I think. So it's like playing around with them too much is probably not the best idea. Yeah, they're just like kind of like dropping in. So I think like just running around and trying to get the weapon crates is definitely a better idea. And the really big walker, like the big fatty, he is real annoying to deal with. So we just gotta run around, shoot these, get the weapon crates, and then get the fuck out of here. Yep, that one is just like another skill item. And then now there's infinite walkers coming in. This is why this one is such a pain. Because there's just so many boxes everywhere. So many pieces of shit just kind of like falling in every second. Yep, that's a flash grenade, pointless. And then there's enemies just coming in every second. I got rid of the screaming walker so he wouldn't like draw them towards us too much. Yeah, I feel like I keep picking the wrong ones, right? Like the boxes that I was shooting a lot at the start right here were not the ones that actually had the weapon crates in it. There's one, good. All right, so that puts us halfway with that one. I guess there is a lot of ammo kind of all over the place. Yep, there's another one. See, like when you pick up the weapon crate too, like you're locked into a nice little long animation. It's not like it's just like, oh, we'll just pick it up and quickly run on. Like we do have to kind of like sit there and actually pick it up. Huge pain. Nope. Was that a flash grenade? I never found much of a point to the flash grenade. Felt like that one wasn't really that.
Lock and load. Don't mind if I do.
All right, one more to go. That's one of the humans. Yeah, sometimes they have the helmets, but I mean, it's just you shoot the helmet off and then you get them and you're good. The grenade would actually probably be helpful here, but I don't like it's. We have to use specifically guns, I think, not the grenade itself. So. And then you do have kind of, I guess I haven't really talked about it up to this point, but you do have kind of like that Batman, like detective, yeah, this right here, that kind of like detective vision. I mean, it does work pretty well. Yeah, every character is basically Batman with his bat suit. It was Arkham Asylum, Arkham Asylum introduced that Batman game, and then, dude, so many games I feel like use that. All right, so we're able to get it right there. Now it's just a matter of getting out of here. But it's not as simple as just retracing our steps, because they were like, oh, we could make this not so bad, or we could make this annoying as hell. Let's make it annoying as hell, is what they decided to do. So as we come back, now there's going to be a lot of Woodbury soldiers everywhere, which is a real pain. But then there's also, like, there's like a shopping cart or something that they put in front of the door. So it's this room is really annoying right here. Yeah, so like right here, what there is there's like a little like shopping cart or garbage can or something that's right in front of the door, which we have to actually move. But then what's very annoying is the big walkers, and they have helmets on too, so they're going to be even tankier. So this just quickly becomes us. In order to get this, all we have to do is open, like, move that like dumpster or whatever, and then that's the exit right there. But they made sure to fill this room up to make it really, really annoying.
I need to take the edge off.
Okay, so I do decide to try and kill, at least kill a couple of them, but at least kiting them over to this side of the room would definitely make it a lot easier. Yeah, and then the big boys, they do like to lunge like that, which is a real pain. All right, this guy is like lunging, so we're not going to be able to... Yeah, oh yeah, I tried. I was like, can I just like somehow squeeze through? Nope. Nope, have fun. Dude. There is just... this level, there is just so many enemies constantly coming in, right? So I guess I decided to do it nice and long and slow here. And the melee in this game is pretty, like it's good, right? Like, you just walk up, you hit them once, and then you could kind of, like, stab them. Like, it's a very kind of, like, effective thing, but we're not able to do that in this level, so.
Get away from me!
I think right about here, I'm like, all right, whatever. Let's just go for it again. Dude, this game. Yeah, the great auto aim right there. Yeah, I was like, all right, whatever, fuck this. Like, let's just give it another go. Yeah, perfect. And then they were all right over there, so we should have plenty of time to just move this over, and then we can kind of just like roll in there, and we'll be good. Yeah, nice. All right, so there's that one. That one was definitely quite a bit of a pain. All right, so this is the hardest trophy in the game right here. I think so. That last one was annoying too. So in this stage, right, we're gonna move a little bit forward in a little bit, and then once we move forward, there's then gonna be a sniper, right? There's gonna be a sniper aiming at us, basically the entire, like, this entire level. And it's like every, I don't know, 4 or 5 seconds, like the sniper just like auto fires. Like, it is kind of like, it's a little silly, but he just kind of like is continuously auto firing. And the point of this trophy is we need to not get hit by the sniper even once, right? Like, that's kind of what it is that we have to do here. So once we get rid of this group right here, moving forward, this is where the sniper comes in.
I'm warning you.
Yep, there he is right there.
Lock and load.
All right, so we're able to get the revolver, which is good because it's just, you know, one shots. All right, so I think, like, once it goes red, he shoots. So it's just like we have to, like, play this, like, very, like, slow and steady, because if even one of those bullets hits us, we don't get the trophy. All right. So nice and slow is how we got to do this. It's a pretty long sequence that we have to go through too, because we go onto this street right there, then we go off into like a little like lot, then there's another street, and we have to kind of like circle around, and then Morgan is on top of like an apartment building or something like that. All right, so kind of let him shoot, and then we come on over. Then we can kind of move this around. Now, it can be a little bit finicky if we don't have it lined up nicely. Morgan can shoot us through this, right? So my strat was just to get right up to this kind of like bus right here, and then, you know, sort of like clear them out from here. The sledgehammer's good because it's just like, it's a one-hit kill, but it certainly can be a little bit annoying, you know, because there's a little bit of wind-up time, but it is a one-hit kill. So we have the sledgehammer, which is a one-hit kill, and we have the revolver, which is a one-hit kill as well. But there are quite a few zombies all over the place. So this one, again, is about just being, you know, nice and slow and steady, and it's not really so bad. Yeah, the auto-aim gets fucked up right there. Dude, I don't know. It's like with my back against the bus, it like fucked up the auto aim or whatever. Because it is pretty easy to kind of like get some distance, just aim at them, and it'll just go right to their head. Boom. And then like rinse and repeat, right? Alright, so now we have to move over into this lot on the right, but there is quite a few walkers in this little lot right here, so we do have to make sure to kind of like clear them out before we move too quickly. Well, I think that one is a bomb walker, yeah. So what those are is just like, they just got like jackets with a bunch of bombs all over it. Okay, so we get rid of him. There's another crawling walker as well, of course, they're everywhere. And then slow and steady right here.
Lock and load.
All right, then we can get to this. This is another one of these like movable dumpsters or whatever. We can get this close to right here. Then we have to break these boxes. We have to actually melee it and break these boxes. There we go. Okay. So now we can just break it and then get back behind it. This part is a little bit scary. I think I got a little bit sloppy here, but we don't get hit. But it's just like there's a couple of zombies right here, and then we could just make a break for it across the street, which is pretty safe. And then, yeah, we got a couple right there. Yeah, just nice and slow and steady. Oh, yeah, I thought that the zombie was gonna, like, the zombie looked like he was gonna keep going, and then he didn't. That was actually kind of close right there, yeah.
Get out of here!
Alright, so now, after Morgan's next shot, we're good to go. We could just sprint across. And get behind this wall right here. Now, the last part of the area is kind of like behind the wall, like to our left. Like there's like a little like open courtyard with a bunch of walkers, and we could kind of get like a head start on killing some of them right here. So yeah, this little like whatever, there's a bunch of them right there. And definitely the big boy we got to get taken down. So the point of this level is there's that little door over there. Like we just have to get to the door of that building, like right in front of us. That's kind of like the end goal. But we do have to kind of go around the long way to do it. Yeah, the bastards even have the stupid helmets on. All right, get rid of him. And then as we kind of do this slowly, there are going to be some walkers that are going to kind of start to flank us kind of from over here. Yep, here they come.
Get out of here!
Well, that guy's a bomb walker, too. We're going to hit it, and he's going to blow up.
Let me go!
Not an issue, though. Us taking damage, not a problem. I mean, these stages are pretty generous with health items just everywhere, right? Yeah, I'm trying to just be very, very careful, because this whole section is annoying as shit, right? Like, I think I had a, it took me a couple of tries when I did the PS5 run, my first run of this game, but now that we're doing these platinum trophy videos. This video ended up being a little bit longer than I thought, but whatever. It's fine, I guess. I mean, a lot of, like, look at this amazing gameplay, man. Alright, so we got a couple of boys sneaking up on us here. Yeah, it's... Like it's there. There's no point in like running on over there and like trying to do it like super quick or anything. It's best to just like nice and slow. Let them come on over to us. See that shit was so, dude. It's like it went right in between both of them. So I was like, yeah, whatever. Let's just sledgehammer him. All right, so we're getting pretty close to finishing this section now. All right, so now let him shoot. Bam, there we go. All right, so we can head on over, and then there's this little like I don't know table we could sit behind. Let him shoot right there, and then we could come on over here. There are a couple of zombies, but they're not very aggressive. And then there is a real safe wall coming up in a second. That's kind of like what I'm trying to do is get to that wall, like top left of the screen right there. I'm just mostly trying to get over there. And then I'm going to kind of like kite and let all of the walkers come to us. Yeah, exactly, right here.
Rick, I'm not your enemy.
Now, all the ones we just passed, like they're going to come meet us right here behind this wall. So we don't have anything to worry about right here. Like Morgan can't hit us with a sniper from right here. So we can kind of just like really take our time, clear it out, and then finish up. And then there's the big walker right there. There is a little like another box that we have to actually like physically break open. That's why he's kind of just like running at the wall aimlessly. As soon as we break the box, he'll start running towards us. Yeah, right there. Boom! Now that it's shot, now he can come right over to us. All right, so we are right at the end of the section now. We can just quickly take this boy out.
Let me go.
Bam. All right.
You don't clear.
Yeah, and then we gotta just kind of roll over to this. It's pretty close. And then there is a zombie right there, but I just say, fuck it, dude.
Stop right where you are.
All right, now this part is scary because we have to like slowly move this, and I'm just like, all right, yeah, fuck that. Just slow and steady. Yeah, that wasn't even enough to fully get it done. There we go. And then bam. That's the toughest one in the game right there for sure. Shadow.
Hands. Now drop what you got and go.
All right, and then here we are, finishing this up. This is just right at the end after Rick and Governor have a big, kind of like last battle and stuff like that. And we are just kind of like sprinting towards the end to actually escape the prison. Glenn has got the katana right there, so we're able to just slice away with ease, right?
Get off me.
Yeah, that I'm using like the R2 attack right there. It's like, dude, zombie brains just fly. And then we just get through here, and then bam, there we go. That is it. Platinum obtained, and dude, quite the game. All right, guys, and there we go. That is the last kind of like dash through these last couple of trophies. And then finally we have got the platinum there. Yeah, this game was brutal. I did have some fun at points of it, but, there were some bugs. There were some unfortunate moments. There we go. Done with the Walking Dead Destinies. I am definitely not upset about being done with this. Maybe the next platinum video again will be Expedition 33. We'll see how it's gonna go. Let me know what you guys think. Walking Dead Destinies. Yeah, this one was a true nightmare.